morning. Are you ready for me?
Yes.
Good morning. I'm heading to the closing session for the Delta Gyms at the Joliet chapter. So it's picture day, so I thought I'd be picture ready.
This is my mom, everyone. Isn't she cute?
Thank you.
It's not a non-for-profit, it's a for-profit business. It's for women primarily. I also do things with tweens to be able to push people out of their own way, push them to excellence, get them to do the things that they need to do to be a better them, whatever that may be. So Awakening Aspiration has kind of been what I was trying to do for a little bit now. I started with what I called Release and Receive, right? And it was a nonprofit organization, and I was doing Release and Receive, but I wasn't exactly ready because I hadn't gotten to know myself. I hadn't gotten to know my triggers. I hadn't figured out what it was that I needed to do to be able to help and empower women. I knew I wanted to, but I had to get to know myself first. I had to figure out what was going on with me first. So 2-3 years later, I said, okay, I gotta quit running from this and figure out what's going on. And here I am today. So what I do, or what my business is I'm a life transformation coach. And again, I help people to transform themselves from being stuck in their past and or issues, or allowing people to live rent-free in their heads and to just be happy, live within their own inner happiness. That's the gist of what I do. I just help you, and I provide the tools with what you need to unlock your inner happiness. Those are the things that's what I do primarily. And today we're gonna deal with our little girl. So the first thing we're gonna do is called Pamela's Pledge. You got a little card on your desk, and you know we're not swearing. We ain't on the Bible, nothing like that. So I'm left-handed. My left side, my favorite side. So raise your left hand and repeat after me. I pledge to push myself.
I pledge to push myself
Out of my own way.
out of my own way
By pushing through self-guilt.
by pushing through self-guilt,
Judgment and sacrifice.
judgment, and sacrifice,
Making a conscious effort.
making a conscious effort
To push past former life episodes.
to push past former life episodes,
Ultimately landing on top.
ultimately landing on top
Of my present and future stories.
of my present and future stories.
And this is a pledge that I do at every single event that I host or that I do, and it's called Pamela's Pledge. So
Woo.
you have a paper that's folded that looks like this, and what we're going to do is it's called my inner little girl mindset map, right? And there's 4 little coils. There's a pin in your gift bag. So the gift bag is a plastic bag. And there are 4 little coils that come out. And we're definitely not going to talk about your sex list in here at all. So don't worry. We're not going to do that. On the very first one, we're going to name that Fears. The very first one. Fears. And these fears don't have to be just boogie monsters. It could be anything. And you can be honest, because this is your paper to keep. You don't have to share it anyway. So your very first one is fear. And your last one, the one at the very bottom, is going to be actions. The very second one here is going to be resentments or past hurts. You can label them so we'll know what we got to like put down. Resentments and past hurts. And this one here, the one that's next to last is triggers. And my little girl, her name is Pam. And I like to go by Pamela now. So you can name your little girl. Whatever, and she could be whoever she wants. You can name her Sasha, Beyonce named her
Right.
other person Sasha, whoever she is. Whatever you feel like when you're going off on somebody and you really don't exactly know why you went off that way. Like, they might ask for it a little bit, they might ask for 2, but you gave them 10, and then you later feel bad about it. Now, I'm not saying let people walk over you, because we shouldn't do that. But when we lose it on people and we're like, oh man, and you feel bad about it later, those was emotional triggers that went off inside of you. So first we're going to talk about fears. So one of my fears, I have 2 huge fears, right? One of them was fear of failure, or so I thought. But I named it fear of failure. But then I found out I had a fear of success. Because what would people expect from me? I was afraid to step out. I am afraid of trusting men. I have a problem with trusting men. That's one of my fears. And I have a fear of people viewing me as ignorant. I hate it. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. We do newsletters at our jobs, right? And I would give my newsletter and be like, okay, check it. And as soon as it come back from the person who checked it, where it got any kind of red marks or anything on it, I was pissed. Especially if it was an easy word, or if it was a word that, you know how 2 words might mean the same, like choose and chose,
Right.
and I missed it, I would feel so stupid. Like, I hated to feel like I was stupid, but that was the little girl on the inside of me. It had nothing to do with my intelligence. But I had a problem with that. And I hate for people to bring my past up. Don't bring my past up. That's my past. But that's my story. So why should I be so afraid of it? So those kind of things I'm talking about for fear. If you had resentment for her because due to her disease, I now know it's a disease, but due to her disease, I felt like I did not grow up with the life that I should have had, right? So my first daughter I had when I was 14 years old. And although I didn't give what I call my cookies away, they were taken, I, resented my mother for that. I'll never forget one thing she said to me. I told her that when I was getting ready to go to 8th grade, and when I went to 8th grade, you had to have a physical. Your mom took you to the doctor, you had to get a physical before you went to 8th grade. And the doctor came in, he said, well, Miss Cassie, she's fine. Great bill of health, but she pregnant. And I jumped up, I'm like, he lied. I ain't pregnant. I ain't pregnant. Nothing happened. So she like, shut up. So okay, we leaving the doctors, and I'm like, Mom, if I am pregnant, I could tell you what happened. And she said, well, I know what happened. I know how you get pregnant. You was out here effing. So I said, no, Mom, so-and-so took it from me. Stop lying. You was out here hoeing. Ain't nobody took nothing from your ass, is what she said. And it blew my socks off, but I didn't know it blew my socks off because that was normal language in our household. But I had no idea until I started doing this work on myself. I resented her for that one, that was just one resentment. But I didn't know how bad it was until she got sick and I had to take care of her. And literally, I did not want to. My own mother. It was like, why do I want to take care of a lady who treat me this way? And this is just one instance. So I resented her for that. I resented my father because my father moved and he went out of town. He wasn't there. I was in an abusive relationship with the same person who got me pregnant. Had a cracked eye socket, a cracked jawbone, 3 fractured ribs on one side and 2 on the other. And this was an everyday occurrence. Every time we were in contact with each other, for the most part, I was getting beat, right? So my mother allowed him to move in with us for the pay of alcohol. So he paid her with alcohol and he lived with us. When he wouldn't pay, she made him leave. When she made him leave, I got ass whipped. So I would run from him to her, from her to him. So I resented him because you raped me, made me be your girlfriend, and you beat me. But I didn't know how bad I resented him until just recently when Kiaria, my oldest daughter, came in contact with him again. And I was like, why are you talking to him? But that's not her, my story is not her story. And I didn't know how bad it, you know, I was like, in my head, I was like, I'm gone about my life. I'm fine, but I didn't know how bad I resented him. My uncles, I resented them. So, you know, I just felt like they should have taken better care of me. So we're talking about resentments that you might not even know you have. People who failed you. My first time I went to counseling, the lady said, you suffered many major losses. I looked at her like, ain't nobody died. Had no idea what she was talking about until, you know, I was able to further my education and get it. So, here is, so we did fears, we did resentments, and now we're on triggers. You all know one of my triggers is alcoholic women, right? One of my triggers is when someone feels like I'm ignorant. One of my triggers is when people try to use people. I have a real problem with that. One of my triggers is if someone purposely tries to hurt someone else, and I can kind of see it like okay, I have a friend who, or I don't know if I'm gonna call her a friend, but, and she doesn't really hurt people, but she's an opportunist, if you will. People who are opportunists, you have to be an opportunist, I guess, in some light, but you shouldn't be an opportunist at the despise of other people, in my opinion. But that's one of my triggers. There's many more, but I'm trying to get you just to think about some that might be yours. And then action, right? So now we're going to talk about what we need to do to redirect ourselves from those actions. Or from bad actions and good actions. Okay, so my action would just be to snap. I would just go clean off at all times. I'm still a little snap crazy, but I know how to reel myself back
Just a little bit.
a little better. I'm a little better at it. But I will, my little girl, if she don't get some ice cream or something, she might snap. That's one of my actions. Well, another one of my actions is I am really good at letting go of people. I'll try real hard for a second, but then I'm going to walk away from you and it's going to be over. And for real be over. Like, I could have been madly in love with you as a friend, girlfriend, whatever. And when I'm done, once I finally get all the way done and we haven't had a chance to be real back, I'll be so done. I'll see you somewhere like, hey, and be gone.
Me too.
That ain't exactly so healthy. Because they still live rent-free in our heads, especially if every time we see them, we remember that moment. And we can't allow people to live rent-free in our heads. Everything in this world is about money. Nobody should be able to live in our heads free. So that's the mind map that we wanted to do, and I know that's kind of a hard thing. So I have 5 steps for you. You can take notes on these if you like. And these are the 5 steps to managing emotional triggers. These help me all the time.
Sure.
Okay, so the first step is to accept responsibility for your actions. So when we say, so-and-so made me, that's a lie. You have control over yourself. No one makes us do anything. So you have to take responsibility of what you do, say, nobody can make you do anything. If you allow someone's behavior to make your little girl react, that's you. You did that. The second step is recognizing that you're having an emotional reaction. So if it's gray, it's an emotional reaction. If it has no logic in it, it's an emotional reaction. So I'll tell you a quick story. My husband, I don't even know what he did to me. But, and it might have been on his birthday. And we had an argument, and it was a good fight, y'all. I mean, when I tell you it was a good fight, and I didn't know this then because I wasn't really in tune with myself, but my body got hot. And I was throwing stuff. I just snapped. Now his emotional reaction, he kick his shoes off, and he go get in bed and fall asleep instantly. When we were dating, I was ignoring him skating because he pissed me off or something. I think we were on our little break. That man got so mad. I told him I wouldn't skate with him. He kept asking. I'm like, no. He kicked his shoes clean, his skates clean from here to about a good dead wall or further to the lockers, and probably went home and went to sleep. That's his emotional reaction. So if it's great, you don't have any logic, it's an emotional reaction. The third step, if the emotion is related to fear, anger, or sadness, the third step is to determine what was the trigger. Figure out what triggered it. What makes you snap? What makes you tick, if you will? One way or the other. What's your emotional triggers? And the fifth step is to actively shift your emotional state. And how you basically shift your emotional state is you have to redirect yourself. For me, I have to exit myself. And if there's a way that I can get out, I have to pretend like I'm not in that situation. So if I'm in a heated argument with Devin, let's just say, and we are in the middle of something, some kind of business venture or something, I have to pretend like she's not in front of me at this exact moment. I just check out mentally. If I check out mentally, I have enough time to redirect myself. Then she and I'll deal with that later, whatever it was. So you have to, on purpose, change or redirect yourself. I redirect myself on a daily basis. I self-talk myself, because negative self-chatter, have anybody ever heard about negative self-chatter? So negative self-chatter, which is the little girl that's inside of you, she bad. She will come and tell you all kind of stuff. We are worst critics. She'll tell you, you'll be so fly, and you're going to find something wrong. She'll be like, girl, now you know you shouldn't have worn X, Y, and Z. So I have to, on top of that, we have to positive self-talk ourselves. Because the negative self-chatter is second nature. It's something that happens just like we breathe. We have negative self-chatter. No one can say that they don't. It's a psychological fact that we have negative. It's called a inner conscience, but most of the time it's negative because we are constantly checking ourselves, which sometimes is good because we make ourselves do better, but a lot of times it'll talk you out of things that you need to do, things that you want to do, business ventures. Hell, I wanted to learn how to swim, but I kept just saying forget it, I couldn't do it. Finally, I started trying. Now, I don't know if, I think I might have swam maybe 3 or 4
Laps.
Not laps, I ain't made one whole lap, maybe 3 or 4, 1, 2, 3, but I made it.
Little paddles.
But as soon as I get in the water, my heart beats so fast and it feel like my lungs is filling up with anxiety. But that's because I've never been drowned or anything, I don't know why I'm so afraid of water like that. But I tell myself before I even get to the pool, now you know you can't do this. So I have to, again, the adult in me, Pamela has to say, Pam, look, not today, okay?
You're going swimming then.
You're going swimming. All right, so, and this leads me to Karen, to my little girl. So I listen to so many women and so many people, and I just, whatever's good, that I take that in, whatever's garbage, I let it go, right? So there's one particular woman I had a lunch with, right? It was a strategy session. And she was just like, you have to do something for yourself, even if it's the cheapest thing ever. So she has this fingernail polish collection. So every time, she would go and buy fingernail polish, and she has this fingernail polish collection that she loves. So you have to be able to do something for yourself, and I figured it out. I want a lipstick collection. I ain't know I like lipstick. I love lipstick. So now every 2 weeks, like clockwork, I go buy a lipstick. And my little girl be so happy, like, yes, we did that. So you have to take care of your little girl. I did buy 2 lipsticks one time, but she really needed it. I like ice cream too, but ice cream, make you thicken the thighs. Right. So, maybe ice cream once a month, but I buy a lipstick every 2 weeks like clockwork because I'm going to take that $17 and do something else with it. Most of the time it's going to be for somebody else, so why can't I buy myself a lipstick?
Exactly. Yeah.
They say they don't expire, so.
Glad you had a nice strategy session.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself first.
You got to take care of yourself first. And now we're gonna have a little bit more fun. This time we don't have to remember the categories. And if anyone know how Jeopardy